And good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is FXPassion broadcasting you live on YouTube. This is Forex trading for beginners, and our goal for you is to become consistently profitable, minimum 3 months, knowing when, how, and why you make, and also you should know when, how, and why you lose money. You should not be allowed to trade with real money until you reach the goal. What is the goal? To become consistently profitable. If you are not going to listen to us, here is the risk disclaimer. Don't trade with real money you cannot afford to lose, and the webinars are not investment advice, they are for educational purposes only. Your job, everybody, is to question everything and don't be fooled after you understand and master all these things. On the left, January, February, March, from to December. Trading is 80% emotional or psychological and only 20% technical. Hello, Igor or Igor. So in order to be successful at trading, you need to have your mind and your heart in the right place. Remember, if being consistently profitable is difficult for you, you probably still have things to learn, and if your way is not working, why don't you try ours? Also remember that 90% of traders who makes it, meaning they become professionals, they earn money just for trading, makes it between the 3rd and the 5th year of learning. For additional coaching or training or just question everybody, if you want to ask questions, you can send questions to the Gmail, to Skype or to LinkedIn. That being said, let's move into the live markets, and today we are going to move on. Let's open EuroCAD. Okay, so if you are not sure, today we are going to talk about how to identify an uptrend or downtrend and how to draw trend lines. So if you are not sure about trend direction on some currency pair, feel free to put in the chat. Otherwise, we are going to start with EuroCAD because this was the last currency pair we have analyzed, right? So let's wait for the software to respond, and let me see if this is not the lesson. We're here. This is what we have talked about in the last session. Okay, so today we are going to talk about uptrend and downtrend, right? So what did we learn so far? We learned about structure, we learned about highs and lows, we learned about the concepts that structure is defined by highs and lows, but not all highs and lows define the structure. Miguel, audio comes and goes. I'm sorry about that, but I believe it's your computer, Miguel. I don't have any problems with audio here. Okay, so today we are going to talk about trend lines, and we are going to talk about uptrend and downtrend. So let's start first with the theory, then we are going to check the live market. So in an uptrend as in a downtrend, how can we confirm that we are in a downtrend, or how can we confirm that we are in an uptrend? Well, we can do this by drawing the trend lines. Okay, so what do we need in order to draw the trend lines is we need to connect the lows, right? So this is the, let's color code this in red. We need to connect the lows in an uptrend, and we need to connect the highs in a downtrend. Okay, so let's talk about some concepts, right? Let's draw text and let's write. So rules to draw an up trend line. Okay, those are the rules. Number 1, you must connect the lows. Number 2, you can't break any candles candles doing this. Wicks also count. Okay, so this is in an uptrend. Those are the rules to draw an uptrend line. You must connect the lows, and you can't break any candles doing this. Wicks also count. And the same goes with the opposite in a downtrend. So rules to draw a downtrend line. Downtrend line, you must connect the highs. You must connect the highs, and you can't break any candles doing this. Okay, wicks also count. Okay, so, and talking about trend lines, everybody, so this is the concept. As a beginner trader, right, you need to learn this concept about trend lines. The trend line is a tool that confirms the trend. Okay, this is the concept. So why this is important, everybody, is because what makes an uptrend, what makes a downtrend are the highs and the lows. Most exactly the structural highs and lows. So be careful not to say, oh, the trend line is making the uptrend, or the downtrend line is making the downtrend. Okay, so the trend line is just a tool that confirms the trend. Okay, so this is for today, rules to draw the trend lines. Now let's talk about trading a little bit. Some of you asked some questions in the email. Oh, where should I start? Where should I enter? Where should I buy? Where should I exit? So I said, well, slow down. We are going to talk about this. So, okay, let's do first this. Then we are going to talk about how to enter some trade. Okay, so if you are a beginner trader, right, and this is what you see, right? This is what you see. This is EuroCAD daily chart, and you see that the market was making lower lows, lower highs, right? The market was making lower lows, lower highs. This is a high, this is a lower high, this is an even lower high, right? So this is a lower high, and of course the same goes with the lows. Lower low, and lower low, and lower low here. So talking about the downtrend, right, and rules to draw a downtrend line. What is the downtrend line? A downtrend line is a trend line that confirms the downtrend. So we are going to take the high, right, and we are going to stretch this high. I mean, we are going to stretch this trend line above the highs. Why is that? Well, this is a rule. Rules to draw a downtrend line: you must connect the highs, and number two, you can't break any candles doing this, right? So I was connecting the highs until here, right? So now, as a beginner trader, you have rule number two. You should connect the highs, and I connected. This is a high, right? And this is also a high. So, but mistakenly, I can draw another trend line and say, okay, let's connect the highs. So I'm going to connect these highs, right? I'm going to connect this high, and I'm going to connect that high. So the question is this trend line correctly drawn? Did I draw this trend line in the correct manner? Is this the correct trend line? Right? Why is this question? Well, number one, you must connect the highs, and number two, you can't break any candles in doing this. So yes, I connected this high, right? And I connected this high, but when I connected these two, I broke my trend line, did break the candles. So this trend line, it's not correct, everybody. Okay, so you should adjust your trend line doing this. Okay, so I'm connecting the highs and I'm going to extend this trend line, right? So the market was making lower lows, lower highs, and I have a difficult question for you. Is this trend line correct right now? Is this trend line correct? Is this downtrend line correct? What do you think? In drawing a downtrend line, I should connect the highs, but I can't cross, I can't break the candles. And of course, in some point in time, the market is going moving up and right, higher highs, higher lows, but some point in time, when the market is going to break the uptrend line, of course, my uptrend line in this example is going to break the candles, right? So I'm asking you, this is EuroCAD daily chart, I'm asking you, is this downtrend line correct? What is the concept about the trend lines? The trend line is a tool that confirms the trend. This trend line, does my downtrend line confirm the trend? Is my downtrend line confirming the trend, everybody? No, it's not. No, it's not, because we have here a lower low, right? So I need to take this downtrend line and I need to adjust. So this is right now the correctly drawn downtrend line, because, oh Passion, but your downtrend line breaks the candles here, so it's not correct. Well, as I said, in some point in time, the downtrend line or the uptrend line, the market is going to break the uptrend line or the downtrend line, where the market changes the trend. So this was the downtrend, everybody, if you want, right? If you want structure, what is structure? Structure are the points that clarifies the trend. So this is structure if you want, you know, lower low, lower high, and again lower low. Let's stretch. So this was the structure, right? And what happened after? After the market broke the downtrend line, what did it do? Start to rally, right? So we are going to do what? We are going to draw an uptrend line. You must connect the lows and you can't break any candles doing this. Okay? So what I'm going to do? I'm going to see. And remember, you can have three trend lines: the long term, the overall long term trend line, the medium term, and the short term. You can have even more trend lines. So I'm going to connect. How can we draw this? Well, I'm going to find the absolute low, the starting point of an uptrend, and I'm going to stretch my trend line and I'm going to move it and check where it's going to touch the first low, and it's here. So this is the uptrend line, right? What is the trend line? The trend line is a tool to confirm the trend. So how can I do this? In an uptrend, I should connect the lows. Did I connect the lows? I connect this low, and I connected this low. So I connected two lows, right? And number two, did I break any candles? Wicks also count, And the answer is no. Question, passion, can I draw trend lines like this? This is one example, this is the second example, and this is the third example. And the answer is no, everybody. You cannot throw trend lines where you want. Trend lines have starting points. You cannot draw the trend lines where you want. Okay? But let's go step by step. So we have drawn an uptrend line. You connected the lows and we didn't break any candles, right? Now let's talk about trading a little bit, right? So those are the rules, everybody. I'm going to draw it here, up here. Okay, so oops, sorry, let's go back. Miguel, nightmare, I'm sorry my friend, I know it's not my fault about the audio. I'm sorry, it's about not this time. I had technical problems last time, but not today, my friend. So if this is an uptrend, right, this is an uptrend, and we are going to draw a uptrend line to confirm the uptrend. So this is the rule for the beginner trader. Okay, rule for trading an uptrend. Rule number 1: buy the market at lows slash near up trend line. Okay. Number 2: buy at counter trend line break. Okay, this is for the beginner trader who knows nothing about the forex market. Number 3: never sell in an uptrend. Okay, if you're a beginner trader and you know nothing about the forex market, those are the rules, everybody, for trading an uptrend. So buy the market at lows, possibly near an uptrend line, and buy at counter trend line break, and never sell in an uptrend. So what do we mean by this? Well, number 1, why the market at lows? Well, this is a low, right? This is the low. This is just theory. We are going to check the live chart, and this is the low. So you should buy the lows, right? But as we are going to see, sometimes you buy the low and the market still fall. This is why you should buy the lows near the uptrend line, right? And okay, let's go step by step. Let's check first the buy the market. Miguel, this is okay for me if we stop having these problems. Only way I solve this issue is to start the playback 1 minute, so I'm 1 minute behind that passion saying. I'm sorry about this. So if this is number 1, why the market at lows and near the uptrend line? Well, you have identified, let's see that this is what you see, right? The market broke this is EuroCAD daily chart, the market broke the downtrend, and we are not trading here, everybody. We are not trading here. Why not? Because the market didn't break the downtrend line. So we are start trading here, right? And why is structure from last week extremely important? Why is structure the base of everything? Because now that the things are getting a little bit complex, like buy the market at a low, if you don't know what is structure, you could buy this low and lose pips, lose money, lose pips. You are not allowed to trade on real account until you have reached the goal. You could buy this one and you are going to lose pips, right? So in an uptrend you should buy the low. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6 lows. And if you don't know structure, you are going to be first you're going to get frustrated, because you are going to say to you, these concepts and FXPassion, the concepts are not working, and FXPassion, the man, he doesn't know what he's saying, right? But if you learn structure, everybody, right? What is structure? We said not all highs and lows are structure, right? So low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high. If you know structure, why structure is so important, technically speaking? If you know structure, you would not buy all of this. Oh, Passion, but all of these are higher lows comparing to this one. Yes, sir, you are right. You are right. All of these lows up here are higher lows. However, did or did not the market fall? Did or did not the market fall? Yes. And why you shouldn't buy this one? Well, all of these highs are higher, yes, correct, but compared to one another, what are they? Are lower lows, not higher lows. So if you know how to properly identify structure, this is going to help you to preserve your capital and stay out in the time when you should stay out, right? Moreover, even though you can tell to me that this first low is a higher low, yes, but where is the higher high? If we are talking about structure, there is no higher high, right? So again, I know it's a lot of information. Let's go step by step. We are at number 1, buy the market at lows near uptrend line. Okay, so good point, bad point. Let's say I have a good news and a bad news, but let's talk about first the rules of trading. So when finally you have a low, right, and after the low the market made a higher high, which is this one, right? This signaled what? This signaled a trend reversal, right? Short-term trend. The market was falling, making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? And we can draw a downtrend line connecting the highs, right? Like this. So in some point in time, let's color code this in black. This is EuroCAD daily chart. So in some point in time the market was making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and started to go back, making a high, still lower high, but lower, not lower, higher low, and finally higher high. Correct? So what does this mean to the beginner trader? Well, this means that the market stopped retracing in an uptrend and is ready. We don't have 100% trades, but it's most likely ready to go back in an uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows. Okay? What is the good news, everybody? But you should be careful about your equity management. Even though you bought in the wrong place, you bought here, the market was against you. You bought this low, the market fall. You bought again this low and the market still fall. if you have placed your stop loss below the structural low, you would make money, you would make pips in any way, right? Because sooner or later, if the market, if the uptrend is going to continue, it shouldn't break the structural low, correct, and should move up, right? So this is the good news. The bad news is that many times if you enter as a beginner trader in the wrong place, you are going to get frustrated, you are going to get angry, you are going to have fear, right? Oh, I'm losing my account. Especially the one of you that are not listening to me and are on the real accounts with real money, right? Even though you are a beginner, you are stubborn and you are trading on a real account. And if you enter in the wrong place, you are going to have fear. Oh, I'm losing my account, I'm at 20%, 30%, 50%, whatever. Okay? Even though if you have put your stop loss below structure, in the end the market should, no guarantees, the market should stop retracing and continue its extension, right? So where was the buying opportunity, everybody? When this happens, you are going to see this, right? And you don't have the crystal ball and you don't know what is going to happen in the future. Well, if you would wait and see the market retracing, right? And when you would see the next, so what is structure right now? When you would see the next structure low, which is this one, right? After the higher high structure, you have identified a lower high. So this is structure right now, and you would see this low right here near the uptrend line. This was a buy opportunity, right? So this is why, number one, buy the market at lows, and most likely try to buy the market near the uptrend line. So this is what we are trying to do right now, okay? The same goes with the downtrend. The same goes with the downtrend, right? But this is how it's done. It's just an example. Now let's address the number 2. We are going to spend the whole week talking about this. Don't worry if you don't understand. Okay? Number 2, buy at counter trendline break. Well, if this is theory right here, right? You know that you should buy the low. We are going to remove this, remove this, remove this. And we are going to, this is a low, right? It's a center candle with 2 candles on the left and 2 candles on the right. So this is a low. Different styles, different shapes, different candles, right? And also here, this is the low. And my Fibonacci dog is barking. So something is happening in the markets. Ichi is still quiet, but Fibo, he's barking. Okay, so this is the low and this is the low, right? Well, as you know, the market, it's not going up and down in a straight line. The market is waving, right? So let's color code this in black. And the market is waving, right? Is in a retracement. We have learned about extension and retracement in the previous week. So before you enter buying the uptrend, you should see a counter trend line break. What is a counter trend line? Well, if the trend line in an uptrend is shooting up, right? if this is the uptrend line and it's shooting up, the counter trend line is shooting down. So you would draw in an uptrend very slowly for the beginner trader who knows nothing about the market. In an uptrend, when you have identified structural low and highs, and when the market is retracing, you are going to draw a downtrend line, and this connecting the highs, yes, and this downtrend line is going to represent your counter trend line. Oh, Passion, why is the downtrend line not the downtrend line, but the downtrend line is the counter trend line? Well, the uptrend line is your trend line, so the downtrend line, which is pointing in the opposite direction, is going to be your counter, so-called counter trend line. So you are not just buying at the candlestick formation, but you can take the rule number 2, buy at the counter trend line break. When the market breaks the counter trend line, the downtrend line, which is your counter trend line, you buy only then. This is, everybody, the safest technique, even for the professional traders. You can have your Fibonacci's, Elliott wave, system strategies, Ichimoku, whatever. There is no a better safeguard than the counter trend line break. Okay? You are going to have gurus and teachers that are going to, no, Fibonacci is better and blah 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 blah. Believe me, if you are going to use the counter trend lines, and there are no guarantees, of course, this is the best safety net for you not to enter prematurely. Okay, now this is theory. Let's check the live market. So I'm going to delete all of this. Okay, delete. Okay, and let's see if I am right or I am wrong about this concept. If you would wait for this counter trend line, would you make pips? If you would wait for this counter trend line, would you make pips? Yes or no? Yes, you would. If you would wait for this counter trend line, would you make pips? If you would wait for this counter trend line and buy the market, go long, would you make pips? Yes, you would. If you would buy the market after this counter trend line, would you make some pips? Yes, you would. If you would go long in the market after this counter trend line and this, would you make some pips? Yes, you would. And so on and so on and so on. If you are entering not just because of the low, okay, if you are going to patiently wait, this is a low. If you are going to patiently wait for the market to break the counter trend line break, you are going to have much higher probability of success. No guarantees whatsoever. I'm just showing you how the counter trend line works. Okay, counter trend line, make some pips. Would you make some pips if you would buy this counter trend line break? Yes. Okay, and here, if you would buy this counter trend line, you would lose pips. But what is the rule? Buy the market lows near the uptrend line. Okay, in here, this was the counter trend line break. But are we near the uptrend line? No, we are not. So even though if you are using the counter trend line break, there are no guarantees. Okay, and if you are going to use the counter trend